Hi guys, today I'm gonna teach you about first chapter of Statistics 1. Let's start. What is statistics? Statistics is a science of data. It's a of science of data that involves collecting data, characterizing, analyzing data, and interpreting data. Interpreting data. So, statistics is a science of data that involves collecting data, characterizing, analyzing, and interpreting data. There are two statistical methods here. First, descriptive statistics. Oh, sorry about that. Which is about getting the numerical information. Numerical information and graphical method. And graphical method. For the inferential, it's gonna be the conclusion of the samples information to estimate the population is to estimate and or predict the population based on samples information. So descriptive statistic is to utilizes numerical and graphical method to explore the data, and inferential statistics is to use a sample data to make an estimate and prediction about the population. Let's move on. The next one is fundamental elements. In statistics, we're gonna have four fundamental elements. So the first one of fundamental elements is experimental unit. Second one is population. The third one is variable and a sample. Experimental unit is the object upon which we collect data. The population is the set of units we are interested in studying. The variable is a characteristic and the sample is a subset of population. I'm gonna write it down. It's an object upon which we collect data. Like like you did a survey, you are my experimental unit. Next one is population. The population is the sets of units that we're interested in studying. For example, Ming Chuan student, Taiwanese male, or high school student. And the variable is a characteristic of the experimental unit. It's a character. Okay, am I? The variable is a character of experimental unit. Like, for example, eyes color, eyes color, education level, or gender, etc. And a sample is subset of population. So in statistic, we're gonna use sample information to make an estimation and prediction about population. The next one is descriptive fundamental elements. So we're gonna have population, variable, sample, and graph or table or table. The next one is inferential fundamental. It's gonna be population, variable, sample, inference about population based on samples information. Sample information. The last one is a measure of reliability, which is a margin of error. It's like you cannot confirm 100% about the sample that describe the population because it's not 100% sure. It's only an estimation, so we're gonna have like, let me write it down first. Sure of reliability. Sorry about that. Like something plus or minus 5%, something like this. It's not 100% sure. This one is example. The next one is types of data. The types of data, we have two types of data, and we have like 4 and 2 subsets of them. So the first one is quantitative, is about we can measure it on a numerical scale, such as amount of people, or maybe something like temperature, temperature, the scores, the TED score, something like this, that we can measure it on a numerical scale, like 10 points, 3 people, 50 degrees Celsius, something like this. And a subset of it is discrete number, discrete, continuous, interval, and ratio. For discrete, it's gonna be the whole number, like 1, 2, 3, 10, 12, 100, like that. The continuous is gonna be something like 1.5, 2.6, 200.5059, 1123.23, like something like this. For example, this one gonna be like amount of people. You cannot have half of people, but this one you can have. It's gonna be like height, weight, something that you can measure it like decimal with decimal number. The next one is interval. The interval is gonna be the number without the smallest possible value. No smallest possible value. But the ratio it has smallest possible value. For example, ratio is going to be like the milk in the jar. You cannot have negative something liters of milk in the jar like that. But in qualitative data is going to be something that you cannot measure it on the numerical scale, but you have to classify. You can classify it as categories, such as I mean gender, size of a cup, like S, M, L, XL, size of a shirt or cup, anyways. Uh, Size of a car. Maybe you don't know it, but the size of a car is gonna be subcompact, compact, mid-size, and full size. It's gonna be like this. Size of a car. In qualitative, we also have two subsets of it, which is nominal and ordinal. Nominal and ordinal. Nominal is gonna be something that you can't be it can't be ordered. Like name, because you don't have to put Joe in front of Steve or Steve in front of Joe. You don't have to do it like that. Name, but ordinal you must order. It must be ordered like size S to M to L to XL, or karate belt, like from I think it's from white, yellow to the highest. I think it's black. So next, let's move to the next one. Now we're gonna approach the process of statistics, which is collecting data. Collecting data. So, to obtaining data. To do it, we have three ways to do it. First, published source. Second, designed designed experiment. And third, observe oh, observational study. The published source is like from the data from the website, book, or newspaper. And the design experiment is the experiment that the researcher fix the characteristic of the experimental unit or and the environment around it. Like for divide people into two group group A and B. The group A got a fake medicine, but group B got a real medicine. Fake, real. To compare that how many people is cured by taking fake medicine and real medicine compared to each other. Something like that. The observational study is from survey or asking for opinion. Opinion. Like this one is the researcher, they don't have to fix the characteristic or environment. They use the natural setting to study. They use natural setting, but this one they fix the characteristic of environment and or experimental unit. So now we're gonna come to the last part of the chapter 1, which is sample. The sample is the subset of population that we interested to study. We're gonna use sample information to make estimation and projection for the population. So the first type of sample is a representative sample. They exhibit the typical character of the population, so they're gonna be the closest to the population. It has the typical characteristic of population. So their information gonna be very close to population. This type of sample we wanted the most, and we can make a projection or prediction about the population with most accuracy. Next one is the simple random sample. The simple random sample have only one condition, is every sample in the sample size, in every sample size, every sample size has the same chance, the equal chance of being selected. So they're gonna have equal chance of selection. For example, A, B, C, D, E in one set. The probability that they're gonna be selected is 1.5, 1 over 5, 1 over 5, 1 over 5, 1 over 5, and 1 over 5. So the next one is stratified. The stratified, the population is divided into subgroup based on their characteristic. Based on their character. Such as divided by age, gender, or eye color. And the next one is cluster. This one they're gonna divide it. Oh, sorry, misspelled. Divided based on geography or natural selection. Geography. Geography. And natural grouping. For example, like this, we could this is a people, it's a population, and I divide it like this, like this, like this, and like this. So it's gonna be one cluster here, one cluster here, one cluster here, here, and here. Let's move on to the next one. Is randomized response sampling. This one is to ensure that you have more probability of getting honest answer, so that you have more honest answer, and also use it to reduce the bias, reduce the bias of the answer. Next one is systematic. The systematic is like I have 100 people and I want every second unit It's gonna be like the second, the fourth, the sixth, the eighth, or I want every seventh unit. It's gonna be 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, and so on until to the 100. Okay, so let's move on to the last one, which is non-random sample. The non-random the non-random sample is the opposite of simple random sample. In non-random sample, the sample in every sample size they don't have the equal chance of being selected. So this could lead to an error, and there are three types of error. First is selection error. The selection error is when some experimental unit in population is excluded. So they will not have equal chance of being selected anymore. And the next one is non-response bias. Non-response bias is when the researcher unable to obtain the data, unable to obtain the data. Yes, that's it. And the last one is measurement error. Measurement error is inaccuracies in the answer that you get. Inaccuracies in the answers recorded. Well, that pretty much it, guys. I will see you in the next video.